Finding the domain and range of a function. The domain of a function are the set of all inputs or x values, and the range of a function are the set of all outputs or y values. The key to finding a domain of a function is to actually find what doesn't work in the function. And with that regard, there are two main types of functions to look for when we're looking for the domain. The first one is irrational functions. For example, f of x equals x squared minus 2 over 3x cubed. In a rational function, you cannot divide by 0. The second type of function, where you have a domain restriction, are root functions, even root functions. For example, f of x equals the square root of 4 minus 7x. You cannot square root negative numbers. So let's take a couple of examples. Suppose we want to find the domain of the function f of x equals x minus 1 over x plus 4. Well, we can't divide by 0. Therefore, x cannot be negative 4, and that is our domain. Now, sometimes we like to write the domain in a special notation called interval notation. And we would write this, remember x can't be negative 4, we would write this as the interval from negative infinity to negative 4, using parentheses because we cannot include negative 4, union, that's what the u is, parentheses, negative 4 to infinity. So that's everything except negative 4. Let's look at another example. Suppose we want to find the domain of f of x equals the square root of 3x plus 1. Now, we cannot take the square root of negative numbers. Therefore, we want to find what makes 3x plus 1 greater than or equal to 0. If we solve that inequality, we find that x must be greater than or equal to negative 1/3. If we want to write that in interval notation, that's bracket. So bracket means including negative 1/3. So bracket, the interval from negative 1/3, comma, to infinity. So the interval from negative 1/3 to infinity is our domain of that function. Now, to find a range, we want to know what the corresponding output is. On a square root function, since it's given as the positive square root, we have to assume that we only have positive answers, or 0. Therefore, the range of that function, all the y values, all the possible y values, the range of that function is y greater than or equal to 0. Or in interval notation, bracket 0, parentheses, infinity.